This lesson is about the session host itself, once a user is connected to it. A session host is shared, frequently rebuilt, and multi-user, which means the usual laptop hardening checklist doesn't map over cleanly. We'll cover what Intune actually supports on Windows 11 Enterprise Multi-Session, how to onboard pooled hosts to Microsoft Defender for Endpoint without flooding the console, screen capture protection and watermarking, RDP redirection lockdown, and Azure Firewall for egress control. A session host is not a laptop. It's shared by multiple concurrent users at once, it's frequently deleted and rebuilt from a golden image, and in a pooled host pool it might not persist for more than a few weeks before being replaced. Every tool in this lesson has a session host-specific wrinkle because of that, and missing the wrinkle is exactly why a standard Windows 11 hardening checklist so often falls short here. Intune support for Windows Enterprise Multi-Session is real but scoped. Both device and user configuration are generally available, but you configure almost everything through the settings catalog filtered to the Multi-Session OS edition. Outside the catalog, only Trusted Certificate, SCP Certificate, PKCS Certificate, and Device Tunnel VPN templates are supported. And compliance policy is limited to a specific subset: OS version bounds, password settings, and Defender anti-malware, firewall, and antivirus signals. A handful of predictable mistakes break enrollment. Multi-session hosts must enroll with device credentials, not user credentials. Never enroll from a cloned image, because enrollment and identity tokens get replicated across every clone and break synchronization. Hosts joined only to Microsoft Entra domain services can't be managed by Intune at all, full stop. And if you're running FSLogix, confirm token roaming is disabled, since Intune doesn't support roaming identity tokens between devices. Pooled, non-persistent hosts create a specific onboarding problem. If every rebuilt VM registers as a brand new device, your Defender for Endpoint console fills with duplicate, orphaned entries for what is really one virtual desktop. Microsoft's guidance is to use a single entry per virtual desktop for organizations that redeploy hosts often, which keeps investigation tied to the machine name rather than the disposable VM instance. And remember, onboarding has to happen before you apply a tamper protection policy, or there's nothing for the policy to attach to. Two native controls address authorized users trying to extract unauthorized data. Screen capture protection blocks screenshots and screen sharing at the operating system level, with the strongest client and server blocking mode requiring Windows 11 version 22H2 or later on the session host. Watermarking overlays a QR code containing the connection or device ID, so if someone captures the screen away, protection can't stop. Like photographing it with a phone, admins can still trace the leak back to the exact session. Custom RDP properties decide which local resources get redirected into a session, and the default posture usually allows more than a regulated or contractor-facing pool should. Review clipboard redirection, drive and USB redirection, printer redirection, COM port redirection, and smart card redirection, each with its own property you can disable per host pool. This is the layer that stops a legitimately signed-in, legitimately authorized user from simply copying data out through the clipboard or a mapped local drive. Session hosts need remarkably little outbound internet access once they're deployed, just the required Azure Virtual Desktop Service tags and FQDNs, plus whatever your applications and Windows Update need. Rather than allowing broad outbound access, route session host subnets through Azure Firewall and combine it with network security groups to explicitly allow only what's required. That turns the question of what a compromised host could reach into a short, auditable list instead of an open guess. It's worth saying plainly, none of these controls substitutes for another. Intune and Defender for Endpoint protect the endpoint itself. Screen capture protection and watermarking protect the display layer. RDP redirection lockdown protects the data channel. Azure Firewall protects the network egress path. A session host hardened on only one of these axes still has 3 open doors. Everything in this lesson was Azure Virtual Desktop specific implementation detail, but the underlying pattern, layered defense across endpoint, display, data channel, and network, is not specific to any one platform. Lesson 4 takes that same pattern and applies it vendor-neutrally across Citrix DOS and Omnissa Horizon, so you can evaluate the security posture of any VDI platform you're handed, not just the one you happen to run today.